Hey everyone, well, very unexpected, Ralph Macchio, the actor of Daniel LaRusso, has confirmed why Daniel is going to Okinawa in season 3. This is absolutely legit. He gives the exact reason, and he also gives some of the episode numbers where Daniel will be in Okinawa. And we've speculated on this, but Ralph is confirming this. So, Entertainment Weekly interviewed Ralph and asked him, how would you describe Daniel's mindset as he goes into season 3? Macchio responds, at the beginning of season 3, there's a lot of cleaning up to do. All the intentions in season 2 were good, both for Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence. Their intentions were good, even though they had different methods and everything else. One of my favorite scenes of season 2 is the elevator scene, which has no dialogue whatsoever, where Johnny and Daniel are in the elevator at the hospital and both are crushed and feel responsible. The burden of these kids hanging in the balance and the fact that it was on their watch what happened. And I think that's a lot what's going on for LaRusso, as well as the family element and answering to his wife, who is at the end of her rope at that point. He doesn't have his human Yoda anymore to go to, Mr. Miyagi, as I always fondly referred to that character. So this is probably the lowest point he's ever been at because every category, husband, parent, teacher, is all at rock bottom. Going into season 3, it's how to dig yourself up off the ground and begin the healing process in all these areas, and that's really how season 3 kicks off. First and foremost, Robby is missing, so that's an important driving force for Daniel. So Ralph is confirming Robby is gone, nowhere to be found, nobody knows where he is, and that's an important driving force for Daniel. So Daniel is looking for Robby, and that's why he's probably going to Johnny. He's probably going to Johnny so they can team up and to find Robby, because Robby's on the run and they got to find him. So Ralph says that's an important driving force for Daniel. So just very surprised that he revealed that in this interview. It's big information. Now, he was also asked, why do you think season 3 was the right time to bring back fan favorites like Chozen and Komiko? Ralph responds, I think we keep the ball up in the air as much as we can. We always talk about, the Ross and Rachels of our show. You want to get them, but you don't want to put them together. So we're constantly keeping that ball up in the air. Executive producers John Hurwitz, Josh Shield, and Hayden Schlossberg do a brilliant job providing fan service and the Easter eggs, and the feels, and the comedy, and yet slowly peppering in those moments that we're waiting for. The thing I love about that third season is that it expands on the scope of the series and dives into and explores the origins of both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. And so in going to Okinawa, which I never did, the second movie was shot in Hawaii, I was able to get into Okinawa and with Yuji and a threadbare crew, and we got some beautiful footage. We also played a decent amount of other stuff in Atlanta that we were able to construct and create this other world. The beauty of that is you tie into the nostalgia of that story, but yet you take it in a path that no one is going to expect what happens with Chozen and the Daniel LaRusso characters. It's such a moment at the end of the 4th episode and into the 5th episode when they see each other and you think it's one thing and it becomes the other. And it becomes informative to LaRusso as he heads back to the States, to his home, to his life, to his current rivalry with Johnny Lawrence. It informs him in a different way than you would expect. So I think Ralph is confirming that Chozen and Daniel will see each other at the end of the 4th episode, and then the 5th episode is when we're going to get all those trainings. So they're going to see each other for the first time at the end of the 4th episode. That might be the cliffhanger. And they go into the 5th episode where they are training together, as we've seen from the trailers. And Ralph is kind of hinting that when he says, when they see each other and you think it's one thing and it becomes the other, because we all think they're going to fight and try and kill each other. But Ralph is saying it's going to become the other, which means they're going to work together. Now, this question is the biggest reveal of this Entertainment Weekly article, and I am very, very surprised that this was revealed. I don't know if the writers told Ralph it was okay to reveal this. Ralph hasn't revealed this in any interviews, but now he was even asked this question about like why Daniel's going to Okinawa, and he's avoided the topic. But now Entertainment Weekly asks, Daniel goes to Japan on business related to his car dealership, and then Ralph responds, yes. On top of everything else that we start the season with, he's about to lose the business or get to a place where if he doesn't sell it, he would be in trouble. And so as happens in the Karate Kid universe, some Miyagi element from his past triggers an idea, and it's beautifully done. and he takes a shot to get to Japan and talk to some of the important companies. While he's there, another idea gets him to puddle jump over to the island of Okinawa. He doesn't even know what he's seeking. It's not the otherworldly that brings him there, but he's at that midlife crisis moment where everything's unraveling, and this is where the magic happened in his childhood. And maybe there'd be an answer, and that's when the Tamlin Tomita character Komiko becomes such a big part of that and chosen. It takes us on a 2-episode journey and informs the character and gives a big fat nostalgic embrace to all of you folks. So Ralph is confirming that the Okinawa plotline is going to be 2 episodes, which are going to be episode 4 and 5 as he stated, and then he might leave at the end of episode 5. I'd say we see him in the beginning of episode 6 back in the States, because we know the writers of Cobra Kai like to make the episode 5, the end of it, like the big midway point. So I think at the end of that, Ralph will be done with his trip in Okinawa, or Daniel will be done with his trip in Okinawa. So he'll be there from episode 4 to 5, and we see Komiko and Chosen are going to help him on his journey. But we have confirmation on why Daniel is going to Okinawa, and that is his business. He is going to Japan to talk to some important companies about either selling the business or trying to save it in some way. And I don't know why he would be going to Japan for that. I'm not really sure how car dealership things work if you go to Japan for that sort of thing, but I am very surprised by this answer. First off, I'm surprised that they revealed this, and second off, I had no clue that this would be the reason why he went. I thought it would have something to do with something that was going on there, and Ralph had to return there for some reason. I didn't think at all it would have anything to do with the car dealership. I guess it makes sense because it's the most realistic. Why would he leave everything behind? Why would he leave his job behind to go to Okinawa? It makes sense because he's not actually leaving his job. He's going there to save his job. I thought it would be like Sato's funeral or something like that, where it's like a reason in Okinawa, but he's not even going to Okinawa to find Komiko and Chosen. He's not really even going to Okinawa. He's going to Japan, and Okinawa is in Japan, so he's going somewhere else, but then just decides to go to Okinawa, and that's where he decides to kind of search for himself. So I'm very surprised. I did not expect that. I thought he would be going directly to Okinawa, but he is not planning when he goes. He's not actually planning on going to Okinawa. He's there for his car dealership, and he's not even in Okinawa. He's somewhere in Japan, and then he just goes to Okinawa and then finds Komiko and Chosen, and as he says, everything starts unraveling. So maybe the pieces start to come together, and it's like destiny that brought him to Japan, because then he was supposed to go to Okinawa, supposed to run into Komiko, supposed to run into Chosen. Well, we don't know if they're gonna run into each other. They're probably gonna like call each other up and be like, yo, let's meet up or something. I don't know, but and it's crazy because he confirms it's gonna be 2 episodes. So that's absolutely nuts. Ralph was then asked, why do you think it was important for Daniel to face Chosen now at this low point in his life? Ralph says, I think it is important for the character because in The Karate Kid Part 2, it was a quote-unquote fight to the death. The first time it was a tournament, the next time you're in a foreign country and the only person who lives at the end wins. So the level of facing a character who seems so unredeemable and Chosen, what it does, and I alluded to this earlier, it kind of informs maybe for LaRusso how he could be doing better on his end with his own life, his own rivalry, the whole Cobra Kai Miyagi-Do thing. So by having this experience in Okinawa, it will inform him to do better himself and be more focused on what he can be doing better, not only just with the Johnny Lawrence rivalry, but just even how to move forward in all aspects of his life. LaRusso learns things about Miyagi-Do and things about Mr. Miyagi that he did not know, and neither does the audience know. So we are both the audience and LaRusso learning things about Miyagi-Do and Mr. Miyagi that we did not expect. That's something I've been asking for from very early on in making this show, because there are certainly elements of that we've got to see through Johnny Lawrence's journey in seasons 1 and 2. You got to learn things about him that you didn't know, but you felt like, oh, we know everything about Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. So we were always looking for that, and in season 3, we get that. It's a nice balance. There you go. I use the word balance because I have to. We're talking about the Karate Kid universe. Entertainment Weekly then asked Ralph, fans really want Johnny and Daniel to work together to defeat Kreese this season. What can you tease about that? Ralph says, therein lies our Ross and Rachel thing that I mentioned earlier. Johnny and Daniel, we love to see them have a few beers and be simpatico. And then we also love to see them at each other's throats. Another thing that works so well in the show is the audience can see the different but same elements of these guys. It's sometimes frustrating because you just want to put them in a room together and pour a drink and say, just get over it. We certainly hear the fans loud and clear, and the show has been designed in that way to bring us to that reconciliation. It's important that you're staying ahead of everything, but you're satisfying your audience at the same time. It's challenging to do. We have so many characters in the show and so many compelling storylines, even outside of just Johnny and Daniel's legacy, rivalry, and Kreese as the wrench in the middle of it. Cobra Kai Season 3 premieres in January on Netflix. No release date. So, very crazy to see all this new information brought to us by Ralph Macchio. All this has been kept under wraps. I guess the writers said it was okay for him to reveal it now that we've been getting the trailers and we've been getting more of this information. I'm just surprised they revealed why he's going to Okinawa. I guess they're not keeping that much of a secret anymore, but we have the answer. It's because of his car dealership, and we know Daniel's going to be in Okinawa in episodes 4 and 5. So pretty crazy that they revealed that. So I'm very surprised, but it's cool. I can't wait to see it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that subscribe button, turn on all notifications to never miss a new Cobra Kai Kid video, hit that like button, and share it with your fellow Cobras and Miyagi-Dos. We're almost at 100,000 subs. Let's get there. And I'll see you guys next time on Cobra Kai Kid. And until then, remember, Cobra Kai never dies.